Long ago, in the peaceful land of Israel, a young shepherd boy named David spent his days caring for his father's sheep. David loved God with all his heart. As he watched over his flock on the green hills of Bethlehem, he played beautiful songs on his harp and sang praises to the Lord. He thanked God for the sunshine, the gentle breeze, the birds in the trees, and the sheep he guided every day. David may have been small, but he was brave. Whenever a lion or a bear came to attack the sheep, David trusted God for strength, and God helped him protect the flock. David knew that with God by his side, he never had to be afraid. One day, David's father called him from the fields. His brothers were away with the Israelite army, preparing for battle against the Philistines. David's father asked him to take food to his brothers and check on them. David packed the food and hurried toward the battlefield. When David arrived, he heard a loud, booming voice shaking the valley. It was Goliath, the giant warrior of the Philistines. Goliath was enormous, taller than any man David had ever seen, and he wore heavy armor that shined in the sun. Every day, Goliath shouted and mocked the Israelites. He challenged them, saying, "Choose one man to fight me. If he wins, we will be your servants. But if I win, you will be ours." The Israelite soldiers were terrified. No one dared to fight the giant. Even King Saul was afraid. David looked around and saw the fear on everyone's faces. But instead of being scared, David felt something different. He felt courage rising in his heart. He said, "Who is this giant who dares to insult the armies of the living God? I will fight him." His brothers were shocked. "David, go home. You're just a boy," they said. But David stood firm. He knew God would help him just as he had helped him fight off lions and bears. David was taken to King Saul. The king looked at him with surprise. But David said, "God rescued me from the lion and the bear. He will rescue me from this giant too." King Saul agreed, but tried to dress David in heavy armor. David tried walking in it, but it was too big and too heavy. He shook his head and said, "I can't wear this." Instead, David picked up his sling and went to a nearby stream. He chose 5 smooth stones and placed them in his pouch. With only his sling, stones, and strong faith in God, David walked toward the giant. Goliath laughed when he saw him. "Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks?" he shouted. The giant roared and cursed David, threatening to destroy him. But David didn't run. He didn't hide. He stood tall and said, "You come against me with sword and spear, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty. Today, God will help me defeat you so everyone will know that the Lord saves." David placed a stone in his sling. He swung it around and around. The wind whistled as the sling spun faster and faster. Then, whoosh! David released the stone. It flew through the air straight and true, guided by God's power. The stone struck Goliath right on his forehead. The giant's eyes widened in shock. Then he fell, boom, to the ground with a mighty crash. The whole valley shook. The Israelites gasped. The Philistines froze. David had done the impossible. With God's help, the smallest boy had defeated the biggest giant. The Israelite soldiers shouted with joy and ran forward. David had won the battle, and God had shown his mighty power. King Saul praised David, and everyone celebrated his courage. Later, when David returned to the quiet hills, he lifted his harp and thanked God again. He knew it wasn't the stone or the sling that won the fight. It was God's strength. And from that day on, David's story has reminded children everywhere that no matter how small they are, no matter how big the problem looks, God is always bigger. God can help you face your giants too. When you trust Him, He gives you courage. He gives you strength, and He helps you overcome any obstacle. Remember, with God on your side, you can face any giant that comes your way.